Hello, my name's Lindy Cowling and welcome to my video. Today I'm going to speak about the runner, and this video is called From Runner to Goner, when a runner is a goner. Anyone who's watched my work before knows that I have a long background as a therapist, as a healer, as a medium clairvoyant, as a psychic, and as somebody that has had 3.5 years experience within the twin flame vibration, the twin flame template, twin flame connection, um, which is elements of all of these things I bring into my work. What I would like to say also is that I only speak through personal experience, through experiences that I've lived through, evolved through, expanded through, or experiences that I work with other people, clients worldwide with. So I speak from first-hand experience, not from hypothesis. I'm living embodiments of what I'm talking about, which again I'm going to say is the energy of the time. This is the time where we are all, showing who we truly are and helping one another by showing and being who we truly are. That's that kind of vibration or frequency of integrity, really. I brought out an earlier video, about the runner, when people are physically separated, when a masculine and feminine frequency or vibration, a connection between two people within two human bodies in this time, they meet, they have an amazing effect on one another. Some of these people are what we call twin flames. Twin flames are elements of the same soul within two bodies in this timeline. Sometimes these people aren't twin flames, but they are massive heart awakening spiritual catalysts to one another. What is a heart awakening spiritual catalyst? That is someone that has a profound effect upon your hearts and makes you feel amazing love, divine love, makes you realize that your energy is comprised of love. They change your life, they shake up your whole emotional body, your pain body, the etheric body. This interaction can clear the blocks within you. It can drive you to be who you truly are. I was going to say more of who you are, but really it's who you truly are. They drive you within, and therefore you expand. And then you can have, I don't like to use the old word soulmates. It kind of seems old now, but you have someone, again, that we would have called them soulmates, that connect on that level. In all of this arena, you can have one part of the connection that bolts, that leaves the scene, that physically doesn't want to be involved in it anymore because of the genuine phenomena where the intensity is too intense, the frequency and the vibration is too intense, and the person, one of the two, sometimes both bolt, but usually one of the two finds it more difficult to cope with and leaves the scene physically. Sometimes they leave the scene physically for many, many months. Usually it's more common to run into years, and some never permanently return. I mean, it's permanent, some never come back. Proportion never come back onto the scene. That is a genuine phenomena that exists. That's not a fallacy, that's not a fable, that's not a tale, that's not a fairy tale. That exists. That's there. And it's because of the intensity, it's how tough it can be to embody that frequency, that vibration, the shock to the system, adjustment, the balancing out of the merging of the different energy bodies, a separation sometimes happens in these divine connections. Well, in fact, often happens, mostly happens, because they need some time to be forced to look within, to be independent of the other, to be completely contained and whole within, you know, so that they are complementary to one another, not dependent on one another, which is the old frequency. So that's genuine. But there's also, again, something else running parallel to this, which again I'm seeing again worldwide, hearing about worldwide, and feeling the energy of worldwide. Because I've been involved in the twin flame energy, the twin flame frequency, the twin flame template, being involved with a twin flame, I now recognize that energy. I know how it feels. Because I've also seen the contaminant that can contaminate some spiritual connections, a darker kind of energy, which I spoke about in an earlier video, I can also now recognize that energy. So when I work with people worldwide, I'm seeing a parallel thing running here, and a lot of people are getting caught up where they believe the spiritual connection they've got, they believe they have to hang on, cling on, wait for the person to come back if they've left the scene. Let me make this quite clear. There's a slight difference here between genuine twin flames and the twin flame union and the period of physical separation, which can be temporary or permanent, and the bolting and leaving the scene and physical separation of a spiritual catalyst that was never meant to have a conventional outcome, i.e. like romantically involved, like living together, like marriage. There's a lot of this worldwide where people have the expectation, which straight away is lowering the frequency to a third dimensional one, the expectation that that spiritual catalyst that they've had that's changed their whole life, because it was supposed to change their whole life, that's why they came in, that's why it was planned, and because they have an expectation that there is more to come, they get obsessed with it, and it becomes then can become very, very negative, very totally obsessed with it. They won't listen to anything else, fixated on it, focusing on the other person 24/7, so much so that their own spiritual evolution ceases. And they can't seem to move forward. They so soon lapse into stagnation and into pain because they are hoping, yearning for something more to come of it. Because by this stage they're head over heels in love with this other person, feeling the love for the other person, not just on a human level. They've felt it spiritually by now, you know, they've felt it in soul by now, and they've never felt anything like it. And I've used this analogy before, like being given the keys to the kingdom of heaven and then they're taken away again, and so they want more of it. They kind of want more of it. They're fixated on it, you know. I know what that's like. I work with people that are in this cycle, and I have been in the past in a cycle very similar to that. So I understand what I'm talking about. So what I would say is why I've titled this From Runner, or When the Runner is a Goner, is sometimes there's a proportion of people that are hanging on in there, convince themselves this spiritual catalyst must be a twin flame, or this spiritual catalyst must be something else, which doesn't really matter. What they've done is convince themselves that there's going to be a physical outcome that they want, a romantic ending, the ending to a fairy tale that they want. And in doing so, there are a lot of them, not all of them, some of them can keep in a high state of divine love. They can move forward feeling and thinking like this, and that's wonderful. It's positive for them. But a high proportion of them, it goes the other way, and it becomes very negative, and they fixate and they get stuck. And so why I've called it From Runner to a Goner, When the Runner is a Goner, is in a lot of cases, these runners, what you are calling runners, aren't coming back, because they're nothing to do with a twin flame union, and they were never meant to come back. They've done what they were supposed to do. They were a spiritual catalyst. They opened you up. I was going to say you opened them up. Again, from the work that I'm doing, I don't often see it that way. I don't often see both open up when it's the spiritual catalyst. It seems to be one opens more than the other. And in genuine twin flames, often one when there is a genuine runner syndrome going on, one opens more than another, and the other one seems to kind of disappear more into the third dimension and drop out of the heart frequency, the heart vibration, and go much more into the head. That seems to be a pattern. That's why they call it the runner. You know, people get fixated on it and say, well, if only he or only she could see this, and they will kind of wake up again. They woke up for a while and they'll wake up again. You know, so you've got two things here. You've got two things going on parallel, running parallel. This is where the confusion comes in. You have the genuine twin flame union, where there is a phenomena of this running because of the intensity, because of the frequency, because of the changes going on within the energy field. You know, you've got all this going on, but you've also got going on parallel to this people that are having catalysts, spiritual awakening phenomena, that are then waiting for the return of that phenomena because it came in the guise of a human being. Look, let me put this really plainly. You could have a spiritual catalyst. I've said this before. You could have a spiritual catalyst that is not anything to do with another human being. It could be an animal, it could be a piece of music, you could suddenly open up spontaneously with no human being being on the end of that. Where the confusion comes in is because we have this beautiful opportunity of being within human bodies, that we automatically make the assumption, because of the old template and the old belief systems, that when it's in the guise of another person, there must be a physical outcome. You know, yeah, you know, cut yourself some slack. By this point, you are really, truly in love with the person. And like I say, not just in love from personality to personality, you feel love like you've never felt before, you know, divine love, angelic love. Yeah, I absolutely fully understand that. But once you come to the acceptance and kind of look at the bigger picture and accept that, okay, the experience has happened, whether that was a twin flame, whether it wasn't a twin flame, whether it was a spiritual catalyst, whether it was a soulmate, it doesn't really matter. We have this human thing where we must force a name or a label on it. Once you let go of the trying to make it fit and control it, because that wrecks it anyway, whatever it is, that will wreck it, and you just let it open like a flower and let it evolve the way it's supposed to evolve, and don't cling to it, it will do what it's supposed to do anyway. You can derail genuine twin flame unions by fixating and clinging and not moving forward and not evolving, and just keep focusing on the one that's left physically, left the situation physically. You can, you know, undo some of the beauty of your spiritual catalyst or your soul connection or your soulmate by fixating on, will they come back into my life? There is, you know, there is a phenomena where people can come in as a catalyst around your life like a spiritual grenade and then disappear again. You never see them again. But there is also a phenomena where they come in and then they go out like an accordion, and that's why it's like a dance, really, like the twin flame thing. Not just twin flames, others do this too. And then they're gone for a few years, and then suddenly they come back in again and they interact. They do this beautiful thing, look like DNA. They do this beautiful movement, then they go away again. Then they come in and they do it again. It's a beautiful dance. Look, it's DNA. It's spiral. It's a spiral shape. All that's true. How you muck it up, cock it up, derail it, slow it down is to fixate on trying to control it, trying to control an outcome. Let it evolve, let the frequency and the vibration and the soul and spirit do what it needs to do. And that is the fastest way and the most powerful way of bringing these connections, whatever they are, whatever category they fall in, bringing them into some kind of fruition, or getting the most benefit and the least suffering out of them. And that's the bottom line. Don't derail this frequency, don't derail this. Sometimes, you know, what we call the runner, and that's just a term for physical separation of people that have come in spiritually around each other, really. Um, Sometimes the runner truly is a goner because it's supposed to be a goner. If that makes you angry and brings stuff up for you, then you know you've got to look at stuff within you about that. Usually under anger, there's one heck of a lot of fear, one heck of a lot of control, wanting it to be a certain way, one heck of a lot of pain. I understand all of that. But if you want to stand a chance of evolving, and if you want to stand a chance of evolving these connections, whatever they are, you must let go of trying to control them and let them evolve naturally. That is what a fifth dimensional ascension template is about. You cannot control or manipulate it around anything, not around marriages, not around jobs, not around physical situations. They are a new template, a new frequency. You have to let them just be what they are. Then the other things change around them. It's this dance again. I'm dancing again. It's this dance. The other things change around them. When you just go like this, when you grip onto these like this, you are stopping the flow of energy and you are stopping your own spiritual evolution. It is not heartbreaking to entertain the idea that you have to look within and that the runner sometimes is a goner. Actually, the fastest way to speed up your spiritual evolution and to give yourself a fighting chance, a chance of this coming together, these catalysts, if they are supposed to come back together, or if the twins are supposed to come in together. And in an ideal world, I've said this before, in an ideal world, all twins, or nearly all twins, would be together because the soul as that, I mean, it's a double whammy. It's so powerful when you have the soul like that working in tandem physically, not just spiritually or in the other realms. But you know, sometimes, like I say, sometimes that doesn't happen, and sometimes you just have to accept. You have to accept that, and then you will go into a state of peace with that, and the soul will go into a state of peace with that, and that is the best chance you have of, you know, getting yourself through any spiritual evolutionary process. Anyway, again, I didn't expect to be back on camera, but it's like a writer who suddenly knows they need to write. Or a singer who suddenly knows they need to sing. I just had all this input. I've got so much input. It's crazy. I've got about 12 different titles written down. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to do them all this side of Christmas, but I'm going for the ones that are most pressing and most powerful to me to get out. So again, much love. I love you and leave you, and stay strong, stay encouraged, but most of all, stay in your hearts. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.